think a singer, Chris Bailey, definitely got one of the best all rights in rock and roll history. I can't quite do it, but it's amazing. Okay, today a quick look at a punk classic. This is I'm Stranded by Australia's The Saints, a band not as well known outside of Australia as they should be. This is one of the great punk songs, I think. In fact, one of the first punk singles outside of the US. This came out in 1976, I think, which was before The Damned, before the Pistols. This one's not too hard to play. I'm going to try not to labour this video too much. I was going to try and make it come in at under 3 minutes 30 seconds, which is the length of this song. I don't know if I'll manage that, but I'll try and keep things fairly brief. First things first, let's deal with the slightly thorny issue of the key of this tune and whereabouts to play it on the guitar. So if you listen to the original recording, it's sounding more or less in the key of B, so it kind of makes sense to play the main riff up here around the 7th fret, sort of based on this B bar chord. But in actual fact, apparently on the original recording, the guitar player Ed Cooper was tuned up. All of his strings were tuned up more or less a tone, so he's actually playing it at the 5th fret and it's sounding in the key of B. The advantage of doing that is you've got some nice open string sounds available to you, which I think really brings something to some of the riffs in this song. So you've got some choices how you play it. If you want to play along to the record, you can either play it at the 7th fret, or you can tune all of your strings up. You could perhaps put a capo on at the 2nd fret and play it at the 7th fret to get those open strings. Completely up to you how you want to do this. I'm actually just playing it at the 5th fret, but I'm not tuned up, so it's sounding a tone lower than the recording. Hope that makes sense. Hope that's okay with everybody. The main riff then, which I'm playing like this. This whole song is mostly played with 6th and 5th string root bar chord shapes, and if you are a beginner or an early intermediate player, this is actually a really good workout for your bar chords. So I'm starting here, the 5th fret. This is an A major bar chord, 6th string root, and then we've got D, which is a 5th string root shape, and then an E, which is the same shape, 2 frets higher. So A, D, E. It's in that kind of rhythm. So I think the trickiest thing here is the speed of this, and you're probably going to want to play this with all down strokes for that kind of proper punk feeling. But the Saints were known for their really fast tempos, so to play 8 notes at this kind of tempo is actually quite a challenge, really, to keep your strumming hand going at that kind of tempo. So you might like to start slowly with this and gradually build up the stamina to be able to maintain those fast downstrokes for the entire track. And you're also going to want to make sure that these chord changes are as smooth and as efficient as possible. You don't want your fingers kind of flying and flapping around here. One thing that I like to do when moving between 6th and 5th string root shapes is just to keep my first finger barred all the way across. So when I'm going from the A to the D, like that, my first finger's not moving across to the 5th string there, so it's just makes things a little bit smoother. If you did want to play along to the record without tuning up, just move everything up 2 frets. So that's the main riff at the start of the song, the introduction. We're playing that main riff twice, and then we've got this bit. So we're going down to the 3rd fret here. This is a G chord. And this is where you can detect some of those open strings in there. So if you play your bar chord like this, but you're not pressing all the way down with your first finger, you can allow the top 2 strings to ring open, and it really brings something to this riff, I think. So we've got that, a big strum on that chord, and then emphasizing the lower strings, and then moving up 2 frets to the A bar chord. Here I think I am hearing the entire bar chord, and there are these accents where you're playing the higher strings. So back down again, and then the riff. So that's the introduction. It also serves as the chorus as well. Let me just put all of that together. moving on to the verse, which goes like this. So just got two chords here. So I'm playing an A and then coming down to an E. So just using the A bar chord shape here, coming down to just an E major chord. So you can just play it like that. And with a lot of these bar chord shapes, you're just emphasizing the lower notes in these shapes. So I'm not really playing the higher strings there at all. I'm just playing the lowest 3 or 4 strings. And another little trick, when you're going from bar chords to an open E major chord, rather than playing the E major chord like this, which is the more usual fingering, if you kind of keep these fingers down, fingers 2, 3 and 4, and play the E like this, it's just a smoother chord change, particularly at fast tempos. So that's option 1. I'm also detecting perhaps some of this kind of thing going on. So that kind of Chuck Berry thing where you're reaching out with your little finger to get that extra note. So you can play an A power chord and then reach out with your pinky to play this note here. This is the 9th fret on the 5th string, and you get this kind of thing. And you can do the similar thing here with the E chord, so just an E power chord, adding in that extra note. So that's option 1. Have a listen to the recording, see if you can hear that. It's kind of a little bit hard to say, but perhaps one of the guitars on the recording is sort of adding in that extra note. I think it sounds cool. And then from the verse, we're going directly into the chorus, which is the same as the introduction. So we've got this chord. And then back into the main riff. And really there's only one other bit to this song, and that's the bit that goes like this. I'm stranded, I'm so far from home, stranded, yeah, I'm on my own. So just going between a pair of chords here, so got the A here to the E, so 6th string root bar chord to the 5th string root bar chord, just going between those two chords. Very simple, just all 8th note downstrokes, A to E. You could go play the E down lower if you wanted to. I think I prefer the sound of it going higher in this section of the tune. But I think we do that 3 times, and then we're back to the kind of chorus bit. I don't quite know what you'd call these sections. That's the chorus. Maybe this bit. Is that a kind of extended chorus? Is it a bridge? I'm not sure. Again, with these sections, move them up 2 frets if you want to play along to the recording without retuning. So very straightforward to do. It kind of sounds almost as good when you play it like that. You just can't have those open strings on the chorus part. And that's really it. I don't think I need to say much else. You can listen to the recording and you can piece those riffs and parts together in the right kind of order yourselves, I think. Gear then, and the guitars on the original recording do sound great, really kind of the essence of punk. And according to the Wikipedia entry on this song, Ed Cooper was using a Gibson SG through a 1960 Fender Super amp, no effects pedals. I don't have either an SG or a Fender Super amp, so I'm just using my Jazzmaster. It's going into the Marshall, which you can see behind me, which is a studio vintage Marshall. I am using one effects pedal, which is an Analog Man Beano Boost. So the guitar straight into the Marshall sounds like this. And then with the Beano Boost, okay, that's it. I will tab out those riffs and put those up on my Patreon page. Thanks for watching. See you next time.